Harold Alvord's obituary spoke of his wit and his inability to remain serious, even in the politest company. So despite his intellect, his kindness, and never-ending care for others, the infectious laugh that could fill a room and seemingly never-ending sense of humor are what set Hal apart from all else that he was able to accomplish. And this personality trait started at an early age. Childhood friends and school classmates remember situations that often led to head-scratching, wondering where this guy came from and what might be coming next. His residence on School Street made it a short walk in opposite directions for his early education to both Israel Putnam School and then Putnam Grammar. While Harold did run cross-country and track at Putnam High, music and art were areas of major activities. He was the drum major of the PHS band and art editor of his yearbook, thus his yearbook recognition of class artist and class musician. Scouting was also a prominent part of Hal's life. He joined as a Cub Scout at an early age, progressed to the rank of Eagle Scout, and became extensively involved as a Boy Scout leader and counselor for much of his adulthood. Upon his passing in 2017, the family received a sympathy letter from a former Scout who wanted to let them know the impact that Harold had on his life in the absence of a non-involved father. A look back reveals the serious side of Harold Alvord. It was not always fun and games throughout his impressive career. Following graduation from Putnam High School in 1962, Harold headed to the University of Connecticut. But before he could complete his studies, he was drafted into the U.S. Army in 1965 as the Vietnam conflict was heating up and it became his destination. Wherever he expected his college plans to lead him, the military calling altered his lifetime ambition, and what followed was the start of a 27-year service commitment, ultimately leading to the rank of colonel. Following basic training, it was on to Engineer Officer Candidate School, then Ranger training, and finally Flight School, where he obtained Rotary Wing qualification. An assignment to fly helicopters in Vietnam followed and eventually led to a near-major disaster. Harold's chopper was shot down, and he was a wounded casualty. Upon healing, he continued with his tour of duty, and as Hal neared his return to the States, he was informed that he would be a recipient of a Purple Heart for his injury. His response, "I did what you asked. Now I just want to go home." But some commendations he willingly displayed, including 39 Air Medals, 4 Army Commendation Medals, 2 Bronze Stars, and a Distinguished Flying Cross. His military career continued stateside for 22 additional years. While attending Ranger School in Fort Belvoir in Virginia, Harold was fixed up for a blind date with Paula Taylor, who was a nurse at the base. Things went so well that the January meeting in 1967 resulted in marriage in March of 1969, despite some last-minute reservations by the groom. With Harold's numerous assignments, this military marriage caused the couple 17 moves throughout many parts of the United States and even overseas until Harold retired from military life in 1993. But during that time, they welcomed son Patrick into the family fold in 1972 and Mindy in 1978. While he continued to advance his military career, Hal also resumed his educational pursuits. He completed his degree in engineering management at the University of Missouri S&T Rolla, and then attained a master's degree in public administration from Shippensburg State University in Pennsylvania, a combination of studies that would determine his future after his discharge. Wife Paula indicated that Hal really did possess a serious side and was a perfectionist when the situation called for it. She also indicated that at times he could be as crazy as a bedbug. A prime example was when he and a buddy went streaking through a gathering wearing only crocheted jockstraps. Paula confessed to being a part of the prank. It was her skills that had produced the only piece of clothing that the streakers wore.
It was St. Patty's Day, and we were at the officers' club. Civilian country club. And he and another friend, who was also in school, and the active duty military also, decided to streak. Through the club. It was funny, but it didn't go over well with the big guys.
Work in the private sector at various locations preceded the family's settlement in Danbury, Connecticut, as Harold assumed the position of Public Works Director in the city of Norwalk, where he oversaw the maintenance and repair of most physical facilities and infrastructure. Other positions in city government followed before he assumed the role of Norwalk Tree Warden. As president of the Tree Alliance, Hal organized the city's annual Arbor Day tree planting ceremony that earned Norwalk the designation of Tree City, USA from the National Arbor Day Foundation. It was then time to enjoy retirement, spending quality time and precious moments with grandkids Emma, Riley, Taylor, and Porter topped the to-do list. But vacations in Maine provided Hal and Paula the opportunity to relax, travel, and explore, also affording Harold the opportunity to revitalize his sense of humor and let his true character be released with the grandchildren. As Paula related, at times he could be a sick puppy. An aortic aneurysm, too large to repair, required a complete aortic replacement. Complications from his surgeries were too much for Hal to overcome. Despite being paralyzed and existing on a ventilator, he maintained the fighting spirit that symbolized his life. Every visitor was warmly received. Every medical person was thanked for every poke and jab, and even the quick wit was never completely put aside. He passed in 2017 as he had lived his life, with courage and grace. Wall of Honor inductees possess a myriad of accomplishments, successes, and awards. Harold did all of that and added his own touch of class with wit and humor.